Hey guys, Blinding Light here, and today we're going to be talking about Valve fixing CSGO. So 2016 has been a great year for CSGO, but Valve, you still need to fix your fucking game. So 2016, like I said, has actually been a pretty good year for CSGO. We got a lot of things added into the game, such as Prime Matchmaking, which has made the game overall a ton better. Also, it seems like Valve is starting to get a little bit better with handling the community as they've introduced a beta client, and they're just talking to the community a bit more. But as always, there are more and more things that need to be fixed, and more things that need to be addressed. So here's some of the things that I think Valve are going to address in 2017, and something that I think is probably going to get better in 2017. So it has been a record long time since we've gotten a new operation in CSGO, and if you don't know, they release operations every now and then where they'll release a few maps and they'll release a few missions. You can buy the operation coin to support the developers and also to, you know, earn possible skins. You really don't get anything, but it's just still cool to have the little icon, and it's also fun to play the new maps even if you don't really play them that long. Personally, I don't really play the maps all too much. I play them a little bit when they originally come out, and it is of course a nice break from all the original maps, but it's not something that I think a lot of people play too much. But it has of course been way too long since we've gotten an operation. It has been record time, like I said, since we've gotten one. We have never gone this long in CSGO without an operation, and I feel like that might lead to the game getting a little bit stale. Every now and then it's good to switch it up, it's good to play new maps, and it's always good to add new content in the game. And Valve is normally good about adding new content in the CSGO, but it seems like more recently we've been getting more cosmetic items than actual content, and that is something that I think is going to change in 2017. A new operation is a gimme. They're obviously going to add a new operation into the game because it's going to make them more money, and if there's one thing Valve cares about, it's more fucking money. So Valve is going to make more money releasing this new operation. The only question is when it is going to be released. If I had to guess, I would say probably after the major. The major, I believe, is somewhere around mid-January, so somewhere around late January, possibly early February. It's going to come out relatively soon. I don't think they're going to keep holding off on this new operation. I think it's going to be interesting, to say the least, after all this time, to see what they finally release. For me personally, I hope the maps are good, and that's all I'm really too concerned about. I don't really play the missions too much. I'm probably going to buy the coin myself, but it's like I said, it's always fun to play the new maps. It's going to be really interesting to see the new maps that they added into the game, and of course they're all community picked, so hopefully you guys out there in community have actually created some cool ass shit. So the next thing I have on my list is that they're going to improve Prime Matchmaking. So if you don't know, currently Prime Matchmaking is in its beta phases still. A lot of people think that it could possibly be in full release, but that is not the case. It is still in beta very much. Prime Matchmaking really hasn't been updated, I believe, in a while. I don't think it's actually been updated since it's been released, but it is currently still in beta, which hopefully means that they are going to continue to add more and more things. I heard a lot of people in the subreddit talking, and a lot of people suggested that they make it harder to get into Prime Matchmaking. Let me know what you guys think of that down in the comments. I'm actually really curious of that. But a lot of people think it should be harder to get into Prime Matchmaking rather than just adding a phone number, because that way you limit the amount of cheaters and you limit the amount of smurfs. I don't really know what they could do to improve Prime Matchmaking, but they definitely need to do something, because it initially worked, but people are finding more and more ways around it, which is the case with pretty much everything when you try to stop cheating in smurfs. But they need to do something, and they need to fix it because it's starting to get a little bit broken. The idea is definitely there, and it's definitely a good idea. I think with some tweaking though, Prime Matchmaking could be excellent. CSGO's player base is starting to get smaller and smaller, and fixing the problem of cheaters and smurfs could bring a lot of people back, so I think Valve is going to focus on this in 2017 and trying to get Prime Matchmaking better. They obviously saw the loss in players, and they decided that Prime Matchmaking needed to be a thing, hoping to bring people back, so hopefully now in 2017 they'll continue to tweak that, and they'll try to bring more and more people back. With Valve, it doesn't seem like they really care about what we have to say, but they really do care what our wallets have to say, and I guess that can realistically be said about any company. So let them know, guys. If you're playing the game, feel free to let them know that we want Prime Matchmaking to get better. And I think with more and more people leaving the game, they're eventually going to have to address this problem. And they already tried to put a band-aid on it with Prime Matchmaking, but if they continue to improve it, I think matchmaking could definitely be better, and it will definitely not be that fucking cesspool that it is right now. We can only hope though, and this is hopefully something that we will see in 2017. The next thing I think Valve might actually do in 2017 is raise the prize pool money in the majors. So currently in the majors, they're not making nearly as much as they are in other esports like Dota 2 and also League of Legends. And CSGO, like I said, was getting bigger and bigger, at least in the esports side of it. It continues to grow and grow. So it's going to be interesting to see in 2017 if they finally raise that prize pool, because, you know, it really does need to get bigger. In 2016, we saw, though, that they're starting to take CSGO esports a little bit more seriously as they're raising the prize pool more and more, and hopefully in 2017 we'll see it rise even more, because right now it just isn't as good as Dota 2 and League of Legends. And of course the viewership isn't nearly as big as Dota 2 and League of Legends, but the prize pool definitely needs to be a little bit higher than it is now. It would raise the stakes, I think it would bring in more viewers, and it would ultimately just build up hype for the event and bring in more people. And I think that's what Valve wants, I think that's what the community wants, and personally that's what I want. I want to see esports and I want to see CSGO continue to get bigger and bigger, and I think this is one of the ways you can do it. Honestly, I would like to see a system like we have in Dota 2, and I know I've said this in other videos, and I know countless other people have said this, but I would like to see a system like they have in Dota 2, where all the money in the community for, I think it's a period of like 1 month, it goes towards the prize pool, and that's how the prize pool is determined for the international. And I feel like something similar should be introduced in the CSGO, with possibly buying team stickers, and possibility of releasing something like team gloves. Like, how awesome would that be to be able to buy team gloves and actually be able to support your team by putting money into the major and actually getting something out of it? Because I think if you just release like something to donate into putting for the major prize pool, you're like, hey, you want to just donate? No one's gonna fucking do it. And the reason is because people want stuff. But when you can actually, you know, get stuff and actually help out the scene, I think more people are going to be willing to buy stuff. This helps Valve, it helps the community, and overall I think it's gonna once again just grow out esports. I don't know why Valve hasn't done this yet, but I hope this is something they do in 2017. And honestly, I think it's something that they could possibly do, because they've seen how well it works in Dota 2, and hopefully they can bring that on over to CSGO. The last thing on my list would hopefully fix the Russian problem in CSGO, and I know this is more of a problem for European players. I don't really have this issue in North America, but I understand that is a huge issue in Europe, and that's that you'll run into other players who speak different languages than you, and how are you really supposed to communicate in a team game when someone speaks a different language? This happens every now and again in North America. You run into people who only speak Spanish, and I can understand how frustrating that would be, but that's maybe like 1 in every 100 games. If you're in Europe, it happens a lot more frequently, and I could understand how that would piss people off. It would be very annoying to work all your way up, ranking up, and then run into a guy who's Russian who doesn't want to cooperate and wants to yell "Psycho-blit" at you all the fucking time. It's very triggering. The way I suggest you fix this, though, is to just add a language setting into the game where you can actually choose what language you speak and actually be matched up with other people who, you know, speak that same language. Of course, people will troll, but realistically, what do they gain out of trolling? They're only playing with people in a language that they don't really speak. So they're not really gaining much there, and that would kind of be fucking retarded on their part. So let's just hope that people wouldn't do that. But literally just adding this simple feature into the game would definitely help out, and it would help out a lot of people in Europe. It would help out a little bit of people in North America, running into those French Canadians who only speak French, and also running into the people who only speak Spanish. It can be frustrating in a team game, and I know a lot of you guys out there are probably saying, well, oh, you could just queue in a 5-man. Well, queuing in a 5-man isn't always an option, and it really shouldn't have to be. You shouldn't have to play with 4 other people that you know for a game to really be enjoyable. That's just kind of bad. If they just released a system like this, hopefully you could actually find teammates who are decent and find teammates who actually spoke the same language for you. I don't really think that is asking for too much now. Do I think this will be added into the game in 2017? No, this is probably the only one on my list that I don't really believe will be added into the game. This is something that has been needed for a very long time now, and Valve really hasn't addressed. It's very well possible that it could be added in 2017, but once again, I highly doubt it. This is something that the community would have to come together on and really bug Valve about. It seems to me like it would be a simple fix, but I'm not a programmer. I really don't know all about that stuff. There's probably going to be some neckbeard in the comments telling me how super fucking difficult it is to program a language barrier setting, even though it's probably fucking not. But yeah, guys, these are just some things that I could see Valve fixing in CSGO in 2017. Let me know some more things that you think Valve is going to fix in CSGO in 2017. What do you guys think are some of the more realistic things that are going to be changed in CSGO in 2017? It's going to be a really interesting year for CSGO as esports is getting bigger and the game in general hopefully will go back on an upswing and start getting bigger and bigger as Overwatch has been out longer. Because to be honest, from my personal opinion, I think the reason the game lost players was because Overwatch came out and took a lot of those players. But I feel like as Overwatch is out longer, CSGO will start to gain those players back. So hopefully that ends up happening. CSGO starts to get bigger again and Valve starts to fix a lot more problems. But it seems like we're headed in the right direction. Hopefully 2017 is better than 2016. And, you know, tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. 2017 or 2016, which one do you think is going to be better? Tell me down in the comments down below. And if you like this video, how about you hit that like button? And if you dislike this video for some odd reason, how about you hit that dislike button? And if you're new, how about you subscribe? But yeah, guys, this has been the Chosen One Inc. And as always, peace out.